Hey folks, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Variation on a theme today, but I had a bit of a palm slap moment the other day.
They call it a face palm.
A face palm, okay.
Yeah.
So along with all that wax moth damage that was going on in that video you saw not too long ago, hopefully, there was also some honey supers that were involved in that. And the wax cappings had been taken off the honey supers by the wax moths, but the most of the honey was still in the comb for most of it. It's just dirty. And I wanted to go ahead and feed it back to the bees, but I didn't want to feed it back to the bees in the combs, all at once. I wanted to extract it, as it were. So I chopped it up, put it into the crush and strain unit, you know, the bucket with holes in the bottom, and put that on top of here and had it all chopped up and oozed through there. The honey had been exposed to low humidity interior air conditioned temperatures for a good few months and was incredibly thick, as well as being full of all kinds of insect poop and sludge, which made it terribly thick. But got it through here, but still going through holes this size made a big mess out of it. So after having done that once, I grabbed what was at hand, which is one of the standard cone filters, and wanted to pour it through there. But what I did at that moment, because it was what I had available to me to do, was I basically just attached this to the handle of my lawnmower and let it slowly drip through here. And again, there was so much sludge involved in this that it took almost 2 days for it to drain through. Okay, which did take out a lot of the sludge, but I wanted to do it again. But I hadn't gotten around to it yet. And I happened to be on Temu and looking at beekeeping accessories. And beekeeping accessories they were demonstrating didn't look quite right to me, but okay. So it was 3 1x2s with a deep V cut in the bottom of them, which went up to and connected to 3 sections of ring with a nut, a wing nut and a bolt through them, and could be adjusted to any size pot. And I'm like, why aren't they doing that on a 5-gallon bucket? Why are they doing it on this great big cooking kettle? Well, it became quite obvious that basically they were using a setup that was designed for people who were making jam, and they were just retitling it beekeeping strainer setup. And I'm like, well, that's pretty cheesy. It could also be a cheese setup, and they said as much. So when I say cheesy, I mean it. And very quickly saw half a dozen different things that they were calling beekeeping, and they weren't. They were for people who were making jams and jellies and things like that, to suspend a pot over it. And I was thinking to myself, shoot, all you need to do there is just have a bucket with a hole cut in the bottom of it. Why didn't I think of that before? I sat there struggling to hang that thing off of the back of my lawnmower. That sure would have been a lot easier. So that's what this video is. Ta-da!
With a hole in it.
Just took the saber saw, cut a bucket, cut a hole through the bottom of the bucket, drilled holes in the sides for a bar in case you needed it. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, did I have to do that? No. If you want to spend the money, you can, of course, have a bucket, a filter that looks like this that fits in a 5-gallon bucket. Of course, and the thing is, some of those strainers that they had for that thing, that ring was about this big around. So you always want to make sure that any filter you get is meant to fit a 5-gallon bucket. As long as it is, you're in good shape. So there's always this. They're not really super fine.
It looks super fine.
Not compared to this. This is a new one I did get off of Amazon the other day. Got a 3-pack of these for about $5. So that is, instead of being the whole taper, which necessitates, right, have it, because it comes all the way just above the bottom. This necessitates having this other one.
Okay.
But just to point out, there's other ways to do this. These are reusable, washable filters. Washable in the sense that you can put them in the dish, or rather in the laundry, because you can't do that with this one that has a wire. You can wash this by hand in the sink. But this one, when you're done, you can throw it into the laundry because it ties up over here. And of course, you have the same situation here. And of course, with either one of these, you didn't need to have an extra bucket. You could just, I guess, do it through this bucket, but I didn't want to make a mess a second time. And of course, you'd lose some in there.
But the bucket you have on the bottom has a honey gate on the bottom.
Yes.
So it's
if
better
you do
to
it
use,
on the bucket with the gate.
It's better to use a bucket with a gate.
Yes, it is. Where's the other one? I feel it. So that's what we're going to do here today.
What are we going to do today?
Well, the video was just, hey, cut yourself a hole in the bottom of a bucket so that you have this flexibility for having a higher drain setup.
Why don't you just use the one you have with that ties around the top of the bucket and put it on the bucket with the gate?
Because that wouldn't allow me to show you to do this. Yes, you can do this one on the bucket with the gate. The only reason I didn't demonstrate on there, dear, was I'd already snapped the lid on.
Okay.
And it doesn't fit if you do it that way.
And what's with the yellow, whatever that is?
Oh, you'll see that in a minute. That's
okay.
Okay. She may not know what it is. I'm sure most of you guys know what this is, and if you don't, you'll know in a minute anyway.
Now you've had this out in the sun, so it would get a little.
Yeah, so it would get a little warmer.
Warmer, yeah. Oh yeah, that is dark.
Well, and one of the reasons I'm not using that one is that this is a finer filter than that is.
Okay.
Okay.
So it went through that filter once. Doing it a second time still has some use?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
Well, the first time I had to squeeze and push at it and such to get some of it through there. So some of the stuff, since it wasn't simply being gravity fed, it some of it, kind of pushed through. Whereas now that we have a proper setup here, it won't. It'll clean up a little bit better. I mean, it's obviously good enough for the purpose I'm going to use it, which is feeding the bees.
Right.
But
so is that yellow thing to hold that bucket in place?
You
don't have
is.
To stand there?
You're figuring it out.
I'm
ding, ding,
figuring
ding.
It out. Jumping ahead of you here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You're
cool.
figuring it out. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, why work harder? Because it looks like it's going to be a hot minute before all the honey drains out of that.
Yeah. It's a little awkward to put this on with that wire rim, but it still works.
And you stick it on there.
Yeah, just like that.
Oh, I don't know if it's going to stay. You've got the handle in the way. Maybe pull the handle out of the way from the front.
There we go. It seems that this particular bucket with this big ridge right here is kind of interfering with the bottom of the feet.
Yeah.
More than, say, one of these would. Maybe this one isn't going to work as well with that. This does work well, and it even works well with one of these because I've used it that way. But no, it doesn't want to. No, well.
You could put it on the floor.
No, dear, I can do
this. And
this.
then prop it up against the table.
All I have to do is this.
Oh,
there.
Clamp it.
See?
Now there you go. Okay.
So that'll finish up. It'll be well. You can see all that sludge. Which was, kind of floated to the surface from after it's done. I guess underneath it did get kind of clean, and most of the sludge had a chance to float to the surface. So when I put it in a different shape of jug, and we can concentrate whatever scum might be left in a smaller area and skim it off. Still not going to eat it because I know what was in here, which was basically moth poop. but the bees will enjoy it this winter. I just wanted to make the suggestion to you that just cutting the bottom out of a bucket, if your wife makes jam, she might even find this to be of some great value to her because it's a nice stable setup for draining her jelly bags. Same way.
Yep.
Just a simple little thing. Necessity was a mother, and I had to rig something up so I could do what we're doing right now. So this has been Rich. South Florida Beekeeping was Rich. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye now.